J.J. Redick said the quiet part outside.
Yes.
Which is for years and years, we've sort of known, like, eventually LeBron needs to play off ball. But, like in Cleveland, he relegated Kyrie to a two-guard. Mm-hmm. And Kyrie didn't like it, right?
The way that everybody knew what was happening, they waited a few games, right? It was like, oh, Lucas, he's not quite fitting in with the Lakers yet, or, oh, his conditioning isn't quite there. It was partly because of the way they were playing.
Right.
He was never going to be able to do that. So the fact that he now has a guy who can, frankly, extend his career and extend him within games. We've seen so many games with LeBron. You can tell by the third or fourth quarter, especially defensively, he's starting to wear down. And Luka's just going to take some of that physical load off him in so many ways, and just the pounding he's going to get through the first few quarters.
And if he was 4 inches taller, he would win an NBA one-on-one contest. He's a little small to stop. Like, inside the league, why? Miami, I understood. He wanted big money, and they're like, we're not going to do it. I get that. But what is his reputation in the league? Because he wins everywhere.
Yeah, everyone knows how good he is, and that, as you said, every single place he has been, he has worn out his welcome. Now, what Golden State is banking on is this is the end. They've got the contract that he's going to have for the next couple of years. He agreed to it. By the time that deal is done, he'll be 37 years old. So there is Golden State time that is competitive and
they're
fun
on the same
and
timeline.
Interesting, and they're on the same timeline. And before it, just with Clay gone, Steph was having to carry so. That's crazy.
Is it
for a Tibbs
Hartenstein,
team.
honestly? Was he better than we thought?
There's so many different ingredients that went into this. It's who they traded away. It's now having guys who are vulnerable. Like, you can attack Karl Anthony Towns, and frankly, you can attack Jalen Brunson because of his size. I mean, he's such a gritty player. He's been a marvel for them, but he can't grow. He only is who he is, and they thought they could shore up some of the other spots, and it just hasn't happened.
How about, could I just make an argument that the NBA All-Star Weekend, the world has changed. Mm-hmm. The Pro Bowl's unwatchable. Hockey just said, let's try something new.
Totally different.
Is there a way to solve the NBA All-Star Weekend?
Well, I was in San Francisco on the ground for you, Colin, and I asked several players, what about a one-on-one tournament? Because I don't know if you were paying attention to what the unrivaled...
Get that conversation.
I don't know. I watched Nikola Jokic at around the same age completely change his diet and habits and go out and win 3 MVPs and an NBA title. I think that Luka Doncic, as competitive as he is, has done his whole career by eating what he wants, drinking what he wants.
Right.
He's been a prodigy since he was 11 years old. And guess what? It's all worked out, Colin. We know people like that, right? We know people in regular life who've just kind of gone along with bad study habits. And at some point, they hit a level where just being smart enough doesn't mean you'd always do well on the test. And just having good genetics doesn't mean that you always jump the highest. He is going to reach a point where his conditioning is catching up with him, and maybe that is now.
I think it is now.
But I think he has gotten the mental wake-up call he has needed with this trade, that we are going to see him in different kind of conditions, just like we did with Jokic. So we'll see. I mean, again, Nico Harrison has bet the next 10 years against